How is this fair to biological females? On St. Patrick's Day, which was yesterday, University of Pennsylvania swimmer Lia Thomas won a championship in Division I, obviously, UPenn, in the 500 freestyle. Lia Thomas, as you know, is a transgender female who was born a biological male. She spent 3 years as a member of the University of Pennsylvania swim team, and his results were mediocre at best. For instance, in the 200 freestyle, he ranked in the mid-500s, and apparently that wasn't good enough for him. So he decided to live out his dream because he was a woman, and he knew that for a long, long time, but decided that after 3 mediocre years as a male swimmer, he wanted to be somebody. So William Thomas is now Lia Thomas. And NCAA rules state that they have to go through hormone replacement therapy for 1 year before they're allowed to swim as a transgender athlete. Now, I've said this over and over again, and I'll say it one more time. I don't care what people want to call themselves, what gender they think they are, how they look, what their name is. I could care less. But this right here is a clear disadvantage to biological females who compete as biological females. Science will tell you, and I'm not a scientist, but science will tell you the physiological differences between sexes, that the male is stronger, will still be stronger as they transition to a woman, regardless of the HRT. But that's okay. That's okay. So people are celebrating Thomas as a Division I swimming champion, and I don't know why. I get the LBGs and the TQs and everybody else and the 75 other genders or more. They're all celebrating this victory, and good for them. But the celebration is really nothing, because although Lia Thomas probably trained, if not trained harder than the biological females, all the other people prepared the same as Lia did. But they knew going in that they were going up against a biological male, and they still competed, because I think in the back of their minds they knew they would lose, whether it be by 10 seconds, 3 seconds, or a half a second. They knew that their chances of placing first were pretty slim, swimming against a 6'3" biological male who is now a female. I don't understand why this is okay to a lot of people. You have a daughter who's a competitive athlete, whether it's softball, baseball, hockey, swimming. They play against biological females, so it's fair all the way around. They're not competing against a guy who wants to be a girl but isn't good at the sport as a guy but knows he'll be better as a girl. And then this transgender person goes on to win all the accolades, Division I titles, and what have you. This country is so hell-bent on pushing this agenda at people when it's not necessary. It's not necessary, because the majority of people, including myself, could care less. But when the playing field is at a disadvantage for the biological sex, then that's a problem. That's a big problem. The NCAA told the Penn swimmers, and I quote, I wrote it down because I take notes, told the Ivy League Penn swimmers to accept the situation. Basically, Thomas's rights as a transgender were more important than the biological female's rights. They had to deal with it or move on. Apparently, this situation broke the team in half. Some were in favor of Thomas, some were not. I don't know what the outcome was. Quite frankly, I don't care. All I do know is that this Lia Thomas is a biological male. He can call himself a woman all he wants. He can have all the surgery he wants. And in his mind, he could say, I've known I was a woman from the day I could walk. Well, that's fine. You can live as a woman, but like I've also said a lot of times, until a transgender woman can give birth to another human being, they will not be a female. I'm sorry. Disagree with me if you want, but the facts are the facts. You can wear a dress and a wig and get breast implants and have genital surgery, whatever you want to do. Have a ball. Knock yourself out. You will not be a woman because you cannot physically give birth to a baby. End of story. So until the wonderful scientists and medical professionals who are involved in all this, in helping people transition, until they come up with a way to implant a uterus and a cervix and ovaries and whatever else you need to have a baby, they're still the gender they were born as, whether it's a female or a male. I am not saying that they should not be allowed to compete, but maybe because this situation is more frequent than we know, maybe there should be competitions just for them, because there's plenty of them. I don't think it's fair that all of these kids pay a lot of money to go to these prestigious universities because they are top-notch athletes, and they may just have full-blown scholarships. It might not be costing them anything, but the point is, if they have a full scholarship, they got there because of their athletic ability as a biological female or a biological male, not a transgendered athlete. And again, Thomas was a mediocre swimmer at best as a male and decided he wanted more. And here we have Lia Thomas, now a Division I NCAA champion. That's a kick in the face to every young girl who started swimming the minute their parents took them to a pool, threw them in the pool, gave them swimming lessons. They knew this is what they wanted to do. They wanted to compete. A lot of them had Olympic dreams. And then they go to prestigious universities such as U of Penn, and they get beat by a biological male. How is that fair? How is that not wrong? I don't understand what we're doing in this country, but we need to change the thinking and the attitudes of these so-called professionals who run these organizations, because this is only going to continue, and it's only going to continue to draw the ire of people who want to protest against it. Then Lia also says that she wanted to live an authentic life and what it meant for her to finish a race and look up at the timing board and realize that she'd won. Again, all well and good. I hold no personal animosity toward Thomas whatsoever. But the bottom line is, this is not a fair playing field for biological women to compete against a biological male, regardless of how much hormone replacement therapy they have taken. I don't know if it'll ever change, but the NCAA needs to do something, because they are basically telling their biological female athletes or biological male athlete, whatever, they're telling them that you really don't matter. It doesn't matter what you think. You can work as hard as you want, but you're going to have to compete against a transgender female in the swimming, for instance, and you're going to have to deal with it. And if you don't like it, you don't compete. So again, why is that fair to a girl who grew up swimming, was a great swimmer, winning, went to an Ivy League school, had Olympic dreams, and then gets beat by a biological male, and those dreams, aren't fulfilled because they lost by a half a second, 3 seconds, whatever it is, because they lost to another swimmer who happens to be transgender. I disagree with it. I think something needs to be done. I think the rules somehow need to be changed, because it's quite obvious that it's an unfair advantage for the transgender athlete over the biological female athletes. And that's it. I don't see how they can't somehow come up with a way to change the rules or categories or whatever's involved in swimming. I keep going to swimming because that's what this is right now. There's got to be a way to make it fair for everyone. And I'm all for the transgender athletes competing. Absolutely. Knock yourself out, because again, they train as hard as everybody else. But for them to be in a playing field knowing that they're not biologically the sex that they're competing against is wrong. It's absolutely wrong. People should be outraged, especially the parents of the biological female athletes who have to compete against the transgender athlete, knowing of the unfair advantage that the transgender athlete has against their child. It makes you not even want to compete anymore, because like the NCAA told the Penn State swimmers, accept it, deal with it. This is what it is. It's not right, but this is the country we live in. This is the liberal thinking country we live in today, and we can't win. That's all we see. All these things are stuffed down our throats, and we just have to accept it for what it is. But accepting it is one thing, but knowing that this person is winning events that they shouldn't be winning because they couldn't win them as a male is wrong. It's absolutely wrong. If you disagree with me, I'm sorry. These are my views. It's my opinion. And I'm not going to change my mind. I hold no hatred towards anybody. And I'll say it one more time. You can be whatever you want to be. Look, dress. I don't care what you identify as. Have a ball. I'll accept you for who you are. But when you're competing in a sport at that level, knowing that you have an advantage over the others is completely wrong. And having that title should not make Thomas feel any better, because she didn't win it on a fair playing field, because she couldn't win it when she was a male swimmer. And that's it. Thank you for listening, and thank you for tuning in. If you agree with me, leave a comment. If you disagree with me, leave a comment. If you like this video, please hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell. And I'll see everybody soon with something else. I hope everybody's healthy and safe. Have a great weekend.